we got back together. And I'm telling you, after we got back together, I think with him taking a break and doing whatever he was doing, then the financial assistance got worse. He wasn't working, and I would assist him, like everything he needed, I would help him out and stuff like that. But he changed. He never, you know, from what I can remember, he wasn't that person when we just started talking. He was nice, and he changed. He started being distant still, even after we got back together and we said we would focus on us, focus on our relationship. He would lie, he would cheat, he would do everything. Then, at one point when I went back to where he was living, all of a sudden, like before I went, after we took a break and we got back together, he's like, oh, let's get married, seeing that, we were engaged already. So he said, let's get married. So for the few months before I went to visit, we were planning the wedding and everything. So we wanted to do like a simple wedding, not much family, and that's how we wanted it. So in that time, when I would send my money, like for him to, keep, like to put it away for me, since we had plans, he would spend my money, and then he would come up with lies as to why he needed help, and he would tell all kind of lies just to spend off my money. And I got mad about that, but even though I was mad, I didn't take it to heart. I forgave him and everything. After we got married, the day after we got married, I found out he was in a relationship on Facebook with someone else. And he denied it. He was trying to deny it, but he knew that whatever I was saying, it was correct. And then he apologized. He's like, oh, he's not gonna talk to that girl anymore. And that was that. So after I came back home, I'm like, you know what? I was so hurt about the situation that I think that's one of the reasons why, even though I was married, I still had like strong feelings for him and everything, but it was like the trust wasn't fully there. He didn't trust me, I didn't trust him. So it was like that. But after a while, we were good. Like, things was going good. And then he started with the lying again, lying and cheating. Different people he was seeing. When I told him that that person on his social media likes him, he would deny it. Then come to find out, he was sleeping with them. Different females, he was sleeping with them. And every time he would deny it, I would say to his family, and that's your child, so you would more believe your child. He would deny everything, right? Because he's like, oh, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, like, to get him to where I'm living. So he's doing his own thing, because it doesn't seem like I want him where I am. So I'm like, if you wanted to be where I am, you would, like, you would be on your best behavior. But he didn't care. He lied, he cheated, he treated me like shit. And at the end of the day, I was still helping him. I was still helping him. After a while, it just became too much. It became too much for me. It's like I was living this life over and over every year. Like I was living the same life over and over, like the same situation keeps happening. And I was so frustrated. I felt like I was going crazy. Like my energy was being drained. Like the whole situation was just taken away from me, and I wanted out because he was it's obvious to me he was in another relationship that he was giving his time and affection and attention to. And then he wanted a child with me, but it just wouldn't happen, The universe wasn't letting it happen because of the things that he was doing behind my back. He was just constantly taking from me, taking. He wasn't even returning anything, not even the love he wasn't returning to me. So after a while, he said he wanted to go back to school. I helped him to go back to school. He finished with school and he started working. Even then, when he started working, when I visit, he wouldn't say, oh, let me spend some money. Let me pay for this. Let me pay for that. He wouldn't do it. So as the empath that I am, I would pay because it wasn't a problem to me. But after a while, I got fed up because it's like I'm paying for everything. Even though you're working, you're saying, oh, the job is not paying you enough for you to, do the spending and all of that. So even though he had a job, I was still helping him out because of the amount of money that he was working. Like, his bills wasn't adding up and I was making more money than he was, so I could help him in that way. So he would still be distant even after finishing school and everything and working, and the relationship just wasn't the same, anymore. Like, he was doing his own thing because I wasn't doing the filing for him to be where I am. So that was like okay for him to do everything that he did. Like, he would just constantly lie and cheat, and everything that happened, most of it was on him. Every time I kept finding out about the people that he was in a relationship with, he would deny. He deleted me off his Instagram, and he was in a whole relationship on Instagram where he was posting pictures of him and the person. Before, normally, he never wanted to take pictures, with me. Well, as I could remember, he never wanted to take pictures. So I never bothered to take any pictures with him. I just took my own pictures and call it a day. So when I saw that he was on Instagram in a whole relationship and he was posting pictures and everything, that even threw me off even more. After that, we stopped communicating for a while, and he said he was changed. He cried. He's like, oh, he doesn't love her. Oh, he loves me. And he would change. So I thought. He never changed. And that was like in 2013. He never changed. Okay? That continued. That relationship continued until even now. Like, at one point he would ask me, like, how can you say you love someone and then you go and talk to someone else? I'm like, if you had put your attention and affection and love into this marriage, then I wouldn't have to. Not knowing that he was in a full-blown relationship, He started saying he wanted a divorce because I wasn't doing what I'm supposed to. Mind you, every time he wanted me to, do the paperwork for him to come to where I am, he wouldn't be even saying, yes, I'm gonna I'm gonna give you some of the money. He wanted me to, pay for everything to bring him here. And my mind kept telling me that, oh, if you bring him to where you are, you're gonna find out about him having woman and children. That's my mind kept repeating the same thing over and over. I kept having dreams about it. I kept having dreams about him in relationships. When I asked him about it, he denied it, right? And so when he saw that he wasn't, getting to where I am fast enough, he said he wanted a divorce. I'm like, okay. I'm not giving you any divorce, because when we got married, we said, for better or for worse, I'm not signing any papers. After a while, he changed his mind, and we were still communicating, but not like we used to. He said it the second time, that he wanted a divorce. And I'm like, okay, fine. I'm going to give you that divorce. You could go ahead and sign the papers and send them to me, After that, he was still, even though he was working, his bills were still, he was living outside his means. So he would still ask me for help, even though, and I would still help him, because I don't know, I was just a fool in love, I would say. And I helped him, and when we decided that, okay, you go your ways, I'm gonna go my ways, because he said he wanted a divorce. That was like the October. And that after that, we barely spoke. The December, he brought the girl to his family. They were having Christmas dinner. He brought her and introduced her as his friend. And they're looking at him like, who the hell is this? Like, you're married, so who is this? And the whole thing happened where she said she didn't know that he was married, and she never knew what was going on. After that, they found out that she was pregnant, so that was one of the reasons why he was saying that he needed a divorce, because he got the girl pregnant. When I saw how she looked, I'm like, yes, that's the same girl he denied that he was in a relationship with a few years, before. And now you have a child, as I told his family. Now he has a child to show for his infidelities and his lies, constant cheating and everything like that. After that, it was just crazy. The lies, the cheating, the emotional, traumas, everything. It took me 2 years to get over that heartbreak. Finding out that he had a child, I think that's what broke me. And I was in a heartbreak for 2 years straight. And how I healed myself, I stayed positive. I threw myself into working 2 jobs, and so I didn't have time to really sit and worry about the situation, because I'm going from one job to the other to keep my mind off of it. If I'm being busy, then I don't have to worry about it. So that's what I did. And after a while, I still didn't hate him or anything like that. I still, checked up on him to see if he was okay, like when Corona hit and stuff like that. But as far as us having a relationship, friendship, kind of we don't. So for anyone who is in any type of narcissistic relationship, you have to know that you have the power to heal yourself. You have the ability to overcome this. You have to know that you have to put yourself first. There comes a time when you have to put yourself first. You can't worry about anyone else's feelings and what they have going on. You have to make sure that you are living your life how you're supposed to. You are living in your truth. You have the power to heal yourself. If you have to seek therapy, then you do that. In my case, I didn't have to seek any therapy, but even now, I'm still not 100% out, from the heartbreak, but I came a long way where I'm okay. So I'm able to move on with my life and live my life how I want to live it. When people do bad things to you, they're the ones who are going to get the karma, not you. So it's good for you to heal so you could see the progress that you have made after that. Okay? I hope this helps someone who needs to hear it, in order for you to know that that person is just not for you. That person is just taking from you every chance they get. It's time for you to walk away and let that narcissist go. Okay? Bye.